Welcome to Trading Lounge and the US indices and starting with the Elliott Wave count for the SP 500 on the monthly chart here. So going back to the 2000 tech bubble burst here and looking at wave 3 here of cycle degree, then primary A, B and C here for wave 4. And then from wave 4 we've been working up for wave 5, and we've got wave 1 and 2, 3 and 4, and we're moving up into wave 5 here. So this run from 2016, we're looking counting 5 waves in this structure here for this completion. But as you can see, I mean, imagining this is wave 3 here and wave 4 here, and then all of this is wave 5 here, it's going to be quite a serious top in play here. So you need to give that some thought. And just moving into the weekly chart, so that 2016 low here that we've just had a look at as wave 4, then we've got wave 1 and 2 here, then we've got wave 3 here, wave 4 here, and then we're moving up into wave 5 here. Wave 5 intermediate degree, primary degree, cycle degree. So very serious top to play out in this space here. So just picking up this wave 4 low here on the daily chart here, which is here, and then looking up at the same count as the NASDAQ, wave 1 and 2 here, wave 1, and I could have wave 2 here, but I'm playing it here actually, and wave 3 here, so we'll be looking at this as wave 1 and 2 here, and 3 and 4 and 5 up to here. So still a fair way to go, but yeah, depends on what degree of structure that you're looking at. Let's just dive in here now for the intraday. So for the intraday, we've got wave 1 and 2 here, wave 1 and 2 here, wave 1 and 2 here, and wave 1 and 2 here. We're long here at the moment, so we'll just stay long. We'll keep the stop at break even. It shouldn't come back down to that point here, and we should be able to have a reasonable run all the way up to 3,000 here. So we really want to look to add to these positions as well here. So yeah, you'll have to, whatever you do around here, you'll need to keep the stop under this these wave 4s here, which we'll have a look at closely. So pretty much the stop needs to stay under 28.72. Okay, so just going into the 1 hour chart here, we've got this wave 2 low here, wave 1 here, wave 2, and wave 1 and 2 here. Just straighten these up a little bit here. And looking at all of this as the third wave here, so we've still got okay, this is where this plays out here. Let me just get this into play here a little bit. Let's just see if we can, that'll give us some idea here. Now first of all, this little wave 4 in here, just roughly speaking, it can pull back a little bit further in here. So it can pull down to 38.2% retracement level and then push up into, it could go higher, a bit higher, but I'll just take it. This is all of group 1 here. So we've got 2,900, and we're going to see wave 3 and 4 here. So one of the first points that you need to understand is that the top of group 1 all the way down to the lower end of group 2 here, so 65, 72 and 80 make up group 2, group 1. So whatever you do in here, this, if you just consider that for a moment, let's clean this up here. So we've got these waves, we've got this wave 3, this wave 4, this wave 3, this wave 4 here, this wave 3 here, and we'll have another wave 4 here. They might not pull all the way back in here because they're they're not. It's not like we're in a fifth wave in the bigger picture here. We're actually in a third of the third. So the retracement should be shallow, but at the same time, just to be safe, if you want to continue with this trend to the upside, then we'll just need to leave the stop, give it space in here. The idea is to buy pullbacks below the level, and you can also buy above the levels in here. You just need to understand. So once we've got wave 5 of 3 here, then we'll be looking for an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave that can come down to wherever this wave 4 comes into play, probably, and then wave 5 to the upside. So this length here should be roughly the same length here, so it should take us quite high here. So buying back into this space here, anywhere in here will do, and copy that, and then also here as well. So we want to allow this little wave 4-5 to play out here. We want to buy on this pullback, and it doesn't have to be perfect. And it could be quite complicated, because being a wave 4, it might end up, well, it could end up in wave 2 is normally simple, and either an AB is just an ABC correction, but wave 4 could be complicated with triangles and double zigzags and so on. But I wouldn't expect so, being in the space that we're in the bigger picture in those wave 3s. But yeah, the takeaway points here, to catch this longer trend, is keeping the stop below group 2 here, which below the 72, and also buying pullbacks here, and also looking, especially when this wave 3 is done and this wave 4 is done, you want to be building in on this leg here. Okay, it can come back and test this again with the wave 4 coming back here again, but I think it's going to be much higher at this point. So we don't have to worry about this one too much. It will take, each one of these will be bigger. The size of this one here will be whatever it is, and then this one here is the next degree higher, so it'll be 60% bigger, and then this one here will be 60% bigger as well. So just bear that in mind. I don't think the tick chart's going to tell us much more. It's pretty much mapping it out as it is. So yeah, I'm just not quite sure about this this structure moving up here. I'm not sure if I should have I'll copy this wave 1 just sitting over here, and wave 2 here, and 3, 4, 5. So I'm not quite sure if I've actually got this top in play here, and this wave 4 in here. Not that it matters too much. I mean, the main point is that keeping the stop out of the way, and also too just understanding the basic pattern that's going to occur here at the 2900. So we have our arrival, reaction, first high above the level, some type of ABC correction, and then we're off. So having that, understanding that is just helpful. It doesn't always pan out exactly, but it's the general sort of gist of things. This is a classic trading levels pattern. The other one is that this ABC here would just happen in the first, from the high here, would happen here and bounce straight off here. So you'd have the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, and come back and sit on the level and then bounce off. That's why we always take these highs here, whichever way the cookie crumbles. But yeah, just understanding that a market needs to migrate from being resistance to support to continue going on is just helpful. Let's have a look at the tech stocks, the NASDAQ here. So on the daily chart, same picture here. We've got wave 3 here, an A and a B and a C and a D and an E here for wave 4, wave 1 and 2, wave 1 and 2, wave 1 and 2. So we're going into the third of the third, and here of the third here. So this should be quite powerful and take us up for a nice ride here. So 4-hour chart here. So wave 1 and 2. This wave 1 can also be on top here as well. but that doesn't matter now. It still leaves us with this reference point. Wave 1 and 2 here. I'm not sure which one of these is on here, but I've taken this one here, but it could be this one. And then wave 1 here, ABC for wave 2, and then wave 1 and wave 2. So we've seen that nice strong third wave coming in. The third, I mean the third, well, it's also another, the minor degree, then this minute degree here, so third of the 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 third. So a very powerful point in the structure here, even though it's not presenting that powerful, but it's still scooting along quite nicely. So look, these markets should continue to push higher, and in this kind of fashion, but there'll be waves of 3s and 4s coming into play here, but should take us higher. Yeah, should take us continue to be higher. Now the thing here is that it may come back and test the 75 here, but it will be brief, and then it'll push up from that. The 600 is important, the 700 is important, but the 650 will be more important. It will be the balance with these numbers here creating buys and sells. It will end up balancing on here. So if you wanted to refine anything, then this number here will be the one to work with. So the 650 is more important than the 600 and the 700. Probably doesn't sound like it, doesn't make any sense, but I don't have all the answers either, but I just know from observation. So yeah, so looking quite good here. So into the hourly chart here, looking at this as, let me just get this in here, from this wave 2 here, wave 1 here, an A and a B and a C here, and then 5 waves up for wave 1 and back for wave 2. Considering all this is the third wave, the fourth wave here, and just remember this can pull back. You can get that there. It can pull back to this, the 7520 here. It can do that. It can push higher here as well. But look, main point here too, the takeaway is that use your indicators, you know, your stochastics and CCIs and so on, and you know, when they give buying signals on these pullbacks here, then, you know, build into them. Don't overdo it so you have to sweat it out, because you really want to be in this for the longer trend now. That's been our aim here. So if I just copy this here, yeah, just look for your indicators to pull back in this into these spaces here. I don't think the tick chart can tell us much more here, but while we're here, we'll have a look. I just have to get some more into here. So, you know, I'm tracking it in there okay-ish. The other point here too is that if you're not long here already, then you can go long on if you wanted to, you can go long on this high here. Because if that's breached, then we'll see the market move up from that point there. I mean, it can drop from here. So basically support on 75.80, you can trade up from that point there. And then if that's the case, then we can call this wave 4 in here. But I'm a bit reluctant to do that at this moment because we're expecting it to pull back a little bit deeper within all of this here. But in terms of scalping, then that's fine to put that there, have that there. I'm not sure, but certainly this is a signal to me because the market's corrected back. It's sitting back on group 2 here, and it will be pulled up to this one here. But if 72 here, 7572 becomes the retested resistance, then we know that it will be pulled back down from that point there. So just bear that in mind as we go here. Oops, daisy. Just looking for the trend line here. This looks bullish. So that's it. All short and sweet. So everything's on track here nicely. Okay, thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated.